Okay, so it's time to start looking at this unit. My plan is not to rebuild it or even take it apart. It's really to bolt it back onto the engine and stick it in the car. So it does need new bushes here and here. So I've got those on order, hopefully arrive tomorrow. And we do have some rust on there in a couple of places, so we're going to do a little bit of tidying up of that. And I've got a new clutch on the way. So, and we'll empty it of its oil and put it new. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get it on some sort of trolley so I can move it about a bit more easily. And then we'll take a look. So I'm starting by removing the gear lever assembly bit. Not quite sure what it's called. And so it's just 2 bolts in here, 2 bolts either side here, both with bushes and sleeves and stuff. And then it's connected on here somehow. I'm not going to try filming it, taking it off, but yeah, I think it's just a sort of this here is a you know, just a tube, a finger, whatever, and it just goes into a joint here which swivels. There you go, that's exactly what I meant. You see, it's just a nut here. Oh, so I could have probably undone the nut. That's useful to know. Anyway, so it's just a nut here, and that on this, it goes through that there. So I've taken this off and cleaned it up, which is the bit that holds the accelerator speedometer in place. Okay, I'm just doing a bit of cleaning up today, so I'm gonna take this bracket off next and clean that up, and then I'll have a think about if I want to try opening this and see what it looks like inside. Okay, so I've taken this bit off and given it a clean. I'm gonna probably take it off again and do a bit more. I've just taken this piece out, so these spacers with springs go on here like that. This comes across in there, and these 2 screws here, they seem to be there to provide some sort of spacing between this and this, and I don't really understand how or what they're meant to do. So but you can see, you know, they come through there. There's nothing for them to go through here. So all they do is, I don't know, come to an end. I don't know. Okay, so I've got several parts which are getting rust converter on them before they go back on. And I wasn't going to clean this up, but I started with a Scotch-Brite thing. Because I can't really get my wire wheel in there because I can't find my small wire wheels, so I'm just using that. So what I'm actually going to do, I've decided to clean it up a bit better. This is the reverse switch, just here. You can see underneath when you come across into reverse like that. It will push the switch. Quite interesting to learn for me. So we just got the 6 here. These are going to come off. And I'm going to clean up that as well. That is the reverse light switch out. And I've just tightened this nut back up to here, which is where it was when I took it out, so I know how far to put it in. Right, so these are bits I've taken off, or not taken off, and painting up. They will look okay. I didn't take this off in the end because I don't have a screwdriver big enough for these. So anyway, so those all look very nice. I then found my wire wheel, the brass ones, which is what I prefer to use on the aluminium. Anyway, it doesn't look as good now, but it looks a lot better than it did. It's just I keep cleaning, and so I get more dust settling back on. So I'm not actually going to paint the current silver bits. I'm just going to clean those again, and I think that'll be okay. The bit in the middle was a different colour, and you know, you can see the fact that the converter's turning purple, that it was rusty. So I cleaned that off. I've painted it in rust converter, and I'm then going to paint that with, I think I've got some silver engine paint still, and so I'm going to use that on there. Okay, so I've got a layer of primer on there, and whilst that's drying, we're going to get sidetracked a little bit to look at some brakes. You may remember a few episodes ago when I was looking at the brakes and installing them, and I was saying that I didn't have anything to lock them in place. So these are M10 half-sized washers. And the thing is, and they are the part number for the TR7, but you know, it connects there and no further. And I'm trying to decide what to do, because the hard wire connects up okay. All right, and you know, so these are TR7 flexible pipes. The hard ones are TR7 pipes. Okay, TR7 is meant to all be metric, and yet I can't get these on. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you this, but it looks like the issue here, the thread on this appears to be 1.5. So I've got a 1.5 there. If I stick that in, that looks like a good fit. If I try the one, and I'll show you why I'm trying the one in a second. Where's it gone? If I try the one, you can see it looks, these threads are too narrow. If we try the one on here, you can see we've got a perfect match, whereas the 1.5 is not. So that's the issue here, is that it's an M10, but it needs to be a I don't know what the one stands for, but the thread needs to be a lot tighter. So there it is, with a couple of coats of silver engine enamel paint on it. We'll clean off the aluminum a bit better and then reattach the various bits that I've got and dig out the mounting brackets and things so that we can have all of that on there as well. I've just been going through my parts bin, seeing what make sure I have everything. So there's the flywheel, the old clutch, and the hardware to hold it all together. That's all complete, but I do have a new clutch set coming, so Those all need cleaning up a bit in terms of the bolts and the flywheel, but they look good to go. So that's all right. In terms of the transmission mounting, we've got new bushing, or whatever it's called. And then I found my old bits, but they obviously need clean. So I've done this bit, cleaned this up, but I haven't cleaned these up. So I need to do that. And then I need to work out how they go together. So I've got the image here, which is for the 4-speed, and then it's got this bit off to the side, which is these two bits. That's great, but I don't actually know how they fit in. So I need to have a look at that. So I'll go back to my old videos to see. Then front mounting, right hand side. Okay, so this bit needs cleaning up right there. It also needs a bit of welding doing. So we're going to get onto that. And then we have an engine, we have this that goes onto it in there. That's good. And then this mounts onto it, like that. Or like that, I think probably like that, to be honest. Yeah, I think like that. Which means those go through the other way. Okay, that's fine. I can deal with that. So we have that all together. And then we have the left-hand side. And I haven't found any of that yet. And it doesn't look like I bought a second mounting rubber. So I'm going to have to use one of the old ones. So I've got 2 of them. They are the same piece. So if you look here, UKC 6710, and up here UKC 6710. So they're the same, even though it clearly one has taken, looks like it's taken a lot more pressure than the other. So we'll use this one, I think. And we will see if I can find this, which must be around somewhere. I've spent most of the afternoon cleaning up bits and pieces and getting them painted, but I've also cut out this piece. So, was it like that? Possibly. Anyway, I've cut out the whole lot. So I've basically tried to go up to the support sides here. I haven't quite gone on this side, but and then I've measured out a template. And I've transferred that template onto this metal. And I don't know what size it is, but what I did is I just took that, came across and found metal I had which was the same size, and it appears to be let me see, that would be in 0.075 inches. Maybe, whatever that is. That's what it seems to be. So, I've transferred it onto here. I need to cut out on the inside of the back line. so the black line. I can then grind it down a bit to get a good fit and weld it in place. Right, and there we have the patch cut, fitted, so we've got good level on all sides. So I'm going to clean that off and weld it in. So that's all welded up. It is flat at the front and solid, and then inside, I'm not going to touch that because you can see the smoke, but inside there I've gone around and it's ugly welding, but it's just to make sure it's really firm the whole way around. So I'm going to let that cool off a bit and then paint it up. So I have here new bushes for here and here on both cars, or on both gearboxes. So I'm going to work through that now on this one, quickly install them. This is what they look like. Yeah, we'll get these in now. And you can see them now all nicely on. So, next step. Okay, so I have here my new clutch, 3 pieces. To be honest, part of me wants to leave what I've got in place because I've measured the thickness on this compared to that, and there's no wear on it. I've measured the thickness of this compared to here, and there's no wear on it. So I think these parts are new. I could try measuring that as well, but I think they're new. Let's have a look at these. Yeah, and I can't feel anything at all with my nail going around here. So I think they're all new pieces. Could have saved myself some money there. Oh well, I've bought them, so I'll put on the new, and I'll save the old. I'm going to try to capture the taking of this out and putting it in better than last time. So there is just a clip back here, and there we go. So you just push it back and it unclips. No force needed. And that then slides off. Ah, look at that. You see, these are new. It's still got copper grease on here. You know what, I'm going to save myself the money. I'm going to keep the new one. I'm going to put the old one back in. Yeah, I can't see any point in doing anything else. Right, so the way this goes in, Well, there we go. Took a few goes, but we've got it back in. Okay, so before we go on, I'm waiting for something to arrive. I can't remember what at the moment, but I do want to drain the oil out of here and refill it. So I haven't got the oil yet. I think it's ATF I need, which surprises me for a manual transmission, but well, that's quite red, which is what it's meant to be, I think. Quite a lot of sludge on here, though. But the fluid itself doesn't look bad. So whilst that's draining, I'm not quite sure, and I need to have a read. Is this also a drain plug? Or is this a filler plug? Or do we fill it from here? Is this a breather stroke filler? Right, I've just checked the VIN on my car and it is above that number, and so I need ATF type G for this, and I need to refill the filler plug, retighten it to 34 Newton meters. The other side is a filler plug rather than a drain plug. So as you can see, I've overfilled it and it's now coming out. So I've overfilled it by quite a lot by the look of it, but I'm just going to leave that now to settle, because we don't want it overfilled and we don't want it underfilled. Before anyone tells me it's a false economy, can I just say, yeah, you're right, it's a false economy not to, oh bloody hell, it's not going to go any higher. I managed to not film myself doing it. My jack is leaking oil here, and so the only way to get it in was to you know, keep pressing it, and it came out quite easily. So we're going to have to press the other one on now somehow. Well, that just actually went on by squeezing it, so that didn't take much pressure at all. I've already filmed myself trying to get it in the car, into the gearbox. I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to film it again. Okay, so there it is. The new one's on. Old one's been cleaned off. Can you tell any difference? Yeah, I think, you know, this car's got some really big problems around rust and stuff. But I think, really, probably I didn't need to take the engine out. If anything, I've probably done more damage to it, but given my lack of experience. Anyway, we are where we are. So, flywheel. Attaching the flywheel to the engine is going to wait until tomorrow, because the engine is under that pile of stuff there. Now, those are just sheets and stuff to keep it cleanish. But it does mean I have to move the car out of the way, and to move the car out of the way, I have to pull all of this stuff out from underneath the car. So, tomorrow. Yeah, so tomorrow we will get the flywheel on. We'll get the new clutch on, not that old one. And then we will try to marry the engine back to the gearbox, or gearbox back to the engine. Fun. Okay, we're going to stop this video here because it's getting too long, and we will put the flywheel on, the clutch on, and marry the gearbox and engine together in the next video. Come back to that video next week. Thanks. Bye.